Hey, this is Professor Dave from draganddropcode.com. I'm going to show you how to build an app with Bubble. We're going to build a kind of mini Instagram app where the user can post stuff and then see all the posts from all the different users. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is come and create new app. Okay, and with Bubble, you kind of just enter some information like the name of the app. I'm going to call this Dave's Insta. Okay, what kind of app am I building? I don't care. I'm just going to say other. And is it customer facing? Yes. Is there a template? No, but there is a bunch of templates we could choose from. We're going to start from scratch. And then finally, I'm going to say, I'm going to test out a business idea. You know, one of the great things about Bubble is you can create prototypes to kind of show clients or potential funders or potential customers as you're trying to, ferret out an idea in your mind. Okay, when you get this application assistant come up, I'm just going to say start with a blank page. And first thing I'm going to do is let me make myself a little smaller here as we kind of go through this demo. So I'm going to start with a blank page, and that page is always called index, page index, and it's blank to start off with. Okay, now with Bubble and a lot of no-code tools, what you want to do is start off by kind of specifying your data. And we're doing a posting app, and really what we want in our data is to have, basically some text and an image. So a user is going to type in some text, they can add an image, and then they'll submit, and that'll be a post in our system. Okay, by default, there's already a user database, and you can see every user is going to have email, modified date, created date, etc. Okay, I'm going to create another data type. I'm going to call it post, and I'm going to create that thing. It's like a spreadsheet table or a spreadsheet or a database table, and inside that post, notice it's got some default properties or default columns. I'm going to add, or called fields in Bubble. I'm going to create a new field, and this is going to be for the post text. Okay, and the field type is text, create, and I'm going to create one more field, which is the post picture, and that is going to be an image. Okay, and the user is going to be able to choose from, if they're on their phone, choose from their photos, or on the computer, they'll be able to choose a file. Okay, so I've got my database kind of set up. I'm going to add some sample data. This is the user interface for the app developer, me, not for the user, for the app developer to add new data. And right now in posts, I don't have any. I'm going to create a new entry, and I'm just going to say, this is awesome. And I'm going to upload a picture for it. And that picture will just be, I don't know, I've been working with some blocks programming, and I'll just add one of the blocks, and I'll say create. Okay, and I'm going to add one more new entry. The text will be a nice day, and I'll upload another picture. And for whatever reason, I'll choose a picture of Raphael Warnock, the Georgia senator. There he is, and create. Okay, so now I've got two entries. This is sample data, right? Probably if I launched this app, I would get rid of the sample data, but for testing, it's great. And now I'm ready to design my screens. Okay, I click on design. Here's my home page. What I want is to basically show all my entries on the home page. Okay, of course, later we might filter to show only the ones a certain user posted or sort them in a certain way, but we're going to show all of them for now with a scroll bar. Okay, and the way you do this in Bubble is use a thing called a repeating group. Okay, in other tools, they call it like a list view or a spreadsheet view. We're going to call it, in Bubble, it's a repeating group. And the content it's going to show is post. And then there's this tricky thing. You would think that might just show all the posts, but no, you actually have to choose do a search for. Okay, and once again, choose post, and that's good. So now this table is mapped to that database table I just showed you called post, which has two entries. Okay, but if I preview it, it's not going to work. If I preview, it's going to show up blank. And when I was just starting out with Bubble, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Anyway, that's how it works. Because in Bubble, you have to actually lay out what's going to appear in each item. And you just lay out the first item and then Bubble copies it to the other items. Okay, so let's just start out. Let's say we just want to show the text of the post. So we could stick this guy in here. I want to make sure it's inside. And one way I could see that, I can click this elements tree and I can see I've got my page index with repeating group post. And I want to make sure this text is in there. So you got to kind of play it. There we go. And once you do, it gets copied to the other items. And I can't even edit these guys. I edit this one and I can format this, right? But whatever I do to this is going to happen to all these different item boxes. Okay, right now it's showing static text. Of course, what I want is dynamic text. And when I choose that insert dynamic, I can choose my database table and I can say, oh yeah, I want the property called the post text. And that's it. So I've mapped both this whole thing to post, and then I've mapped this little text block to the actual property called post text, which is part of post. Okay, cool. If I preview, and now I've got an app that is dynamically showing all the posts of everybody, actually. Okay, of all the users. Okay, cool. So we're partway there. I'm going to move this guy over a little bit. Okay, and now we want to make it so it not only shows the text of the post, but also the image that has been inserted. Okay, so I'm going to add another field. This one's of image type. I'm actually going to put it to the side here, and I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm going to move it over here. And what I like to do when I'm working with these images, even though it's going to end up being dynamic, I'm going to upload a static image. I've got one called dot icon. And mainly I want to be able to see this thing as I'm playing around with it. And then I'm going to make it a little smaller. Okay. And before I even set the dynamic part of it, I'm going to make sure I get it into my repeating group. And once again, look at your elements tree. Here's my repeating group, and the image and the text is inside it as opposed to being outside of it. So it could be just in the page, but it's actually now part of this repeating group, which is what I want. Okay, and you'll notice the image showed up 3 more times down here. Okay, cool. Now I've got to set the dynamic nature of it. Click on here. I want to insert dynamic data. Oh, actually, let me try that one more time. Insert dynamic data. And now I want to choose the current sales post and the post pick. Okay, and now it's just saying what it's going to do. If I run this, I preview, and now I think it's going to show both my image and my text. Cool. So we're kind of getting there and testing as we go. I'm just going to format this a little bit, make the image a little smaller, and give it a little space between that and the text. And now if we preview, it's just going to look slightly better. Of course, I could do a bunch more to make things look a little better. Okay, so now we can display data, but right now only me, the developer, can add data, and the user of the app can't use data, add data at all. So we need another screen. That screen is going to be, I'm going to say add a new page, and that page I'm going to call add post, and I'm going to say create. Okay, it's blank for now, right? And what we want though is this is where the user's going to input stuff. Okay, and you don't want like a regular text, or what you really want to do is come down to this input form area, grab an input. Okay, this is where the user's gonna enter some information, and then we will add just a regular piece of text as a label, kind of. And in that text we can say something like, what do you appreciate? Okay, if we're building some kind of appreciation app or something. But anyway, you can put a label, and then you've got this text, and that guy is called input A. Okay, that's fine. We also need a way for the user to enter an image. I don't want to choose image. What I want to do is scroll down, and you'll notice there is a way to, in the input forms area, to do a picture update picker or uploader, sorry. Okay, and this lets the user click and either choose a file if they're running on the web or go to the photos to choose an image. Okay, cool. And that's called Picture Uploader A. Finally, once the user's submitted some stuff, we need to allow them to click a button to kind of be done with the whole thing. And so I'm going to add a button to my screen. Okay, we'll just keep the button pretty simple. Let's put the text of a plus, make it a little smaller, kind of center it. So here's our input screen. Not beautiful, but that's what it is. I'm going to do one more thing that's very important for your input screen or whatever screens you're working with. You want to do the type of content here. And in this case, we're dealing with a post. I'm going to choose post. And it's very important, as you'll see, as we try to code how this button works. Because right now, this page ain't going to do anything. It's going to let the user enter some stuff, but it's not going to actually add to our database. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. But the first thing to be able to do that is make sure your screen is mapped to a database table, in this case, the table post. Okay, cool. We're getting real close. Here's what we got. First thing I want to do is I want to go back to the index page. And right now, there's no way to even get to the add post page. So let's add a button over here. This button will be pretty simple. I'm just going to put a plus in there. Okay, and actually, I think I put my plus on my input page too. So there's the index page. I'm going to go back to add post page. And really here I'm just going to put submit. So once the user's done entering stuff, they click submit, and that'll actually submit the new item. Okay, sorry, back to the index page. Now this is even simple, this is pretty simple behavior. When the user clicks plus, we want to open the input page. Okay, these are called workflows. So workflow is like your event response behaviors in your app in Bubble. So I'm going to start the workflow, and then I get to this kind of, I've got this when block. When the button is clicked, what do I want to happen? Okay, right now nothing's happening. I can click here, and then I can choose, from a bunch of different things. I'm going to choose navigation and go to page. And where I want to go, of course, is add post. And that's it. So that's pretty nice. I can preview this, and the home page will open up. It's got my data, click plus, and it opens this nice little input page I've created. Okay, of course, nothing's going to happen when I click submit right now. All right, so let's code the submit. Okay, and I'm going to just go here and choose the add post screen. And I'm going to click here to add an event. Well, actually, let's go back to the designer. Let's choose this button, and then let's start its workflow. So when the button submit is clicked, what do we want to happen? Okay, and this is a little tricky. What we want to happen is we want to create a new item in our database, and then we want to go back to the home page. So I'm going to click here to add an action, and what I want to do is something with data, and I want to create a new thing. Okay, and what do I want to create? Well, I want to create post, and this post won't show up unless you've mapped the add post page to that database table, like I was showing you earlier. So make sure you do that. But I'm going to choose post, and that's cool. And then we just need to set which fields that we want to set. And one field we want to set is the text. And notice it shows you this equal sign, and what do you want to set it to? So the post text is the field in our database, and we want to set it to input A. We want to set it to whatever the users entered. Okay, cool. And we want its value. Once again, I want to do the picture now, and I want to set it equal to picture uploader A and its value. Okay. And I think we're doing pretty good. So that's going to create a new post. We want one more action, which is, let's go back to the home page. That one's easy. Navigate, go to page, and the destination is the index page. All right, cool. I think we're pretty close. I'm going to preview starting with on the index page though. Preview should show me 2 items. Those were entered by the app developer me. Now the user clicks plus, they get their input screen. And I'm just going to say blocks programming is fun. Clicking it up to upload an image. I'll just choose some blocks code, an image which happens to be blocks code. There it is. Now I click submit. So now I'm the user. We're testing, right? Clicking submit should take me back to the home page, and indeed it shows that third item at the bottom. Okay. So anyway, I've successfully, I need to beautify this, right? And make it look a lot better, but I've created an app which shows a database table, in this case, a table which just has an image and some text. And then it also provides a way for the user to enter new information into that table.